The top achievers of the class of 2025 will be announced at a breakfast taking place at the MTN Innovation Centre in Johannesburg today. Education experts say they believe that there is going to be an increase in the pass rate, of the 2025 matric class as compared to the previous year. The 2024 matric pass rate was a historic 87.3%, a significant increase from 2023's 82.9%. Marking the highest national pass rate ever recorded. Let's cross now to SABC News reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who is covering this for us. Mbalenhle, talk to us. Good morning. What's about to happen there now?
Well, Leanne, the expectation is that there is going to be an official breakfast that's hosted by the Department of Basic Education, as well as executives from MTN and some government officials, including the Minister of Basic Education, who's also going to take the opportunity to address the top achievers that will be announced right now. Now, I'm joined by someone who's going to speak to us from the Department of Basic Education, and this is the DG. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Sir, you have had quite an eventful December. While the rest of us were having fun, you were working hard, setting up that National Investigation Task Team and those investigations. Talk to us. Are you able to give, credibility where it's due, or credit where it's due? Because this leak was actually pinpointed by the Department of Basic Education here in Gauteng. Do you think you would have been able to pinpoint this leak without the Gauteng Department of Education?
Well, the hard work was extremely necessary. We had to do everything that's humanly possible to protect the integrity, the reliability of these examinations, because the class of 2025 have been waiting for 12 to 13 years. And just a small number of learners, we couldn't afford to get them to really tarnish the integrity of these exams. We've appointed the National Investigation Task Team, constituted by impeccable men and women who are very knowledgeable in issues of education and exams. The preliminary report that they have released already has clearly pointed the direction as to where the problems are. There are systemic problems or weaknesses in the department which we need to address. When we briefed the president yesterday, we told him that we need to strengthen our IT area so that we deal with vulnerabilities in terms of IT, but we also need to strengthen our security environment throughout the entire sector. And I can say that already we have started to act on the findings of the investigations of the forensic audit companies that indicated that we need to strengthen our IT capability, but also strengthen our security.
And now, certainly, the challenge here at this point is to find out how widespread is this problem. And maybe because we are, a bit, we have limited time, can you also explain to us what will happen and what are the consequences that those who are responsible for the leak will be facing, and how widespread was this paper leak?
Well, first, the National Investigation Task Team has already indicated that the leak is localized. I think that's the good news. But they are going to continue with their investigation. But the second issue is that they've already been able to identify specific learners who are linked to this leak. And we used 6 methods which they shared with the nation to verify, to triangulate. One of them is statistical analysis. One of it is, of course, investigative marking.
What do you then say to those who want to take advantage of these paper leaks? What are the consequences for the candidates, this year's candidates, and this is also to deter anyone who wants to do this in the future?
Well, we always go on a national pledge to prick on the conscience of our learners, to remind them that the right thing to do is to work hard, is to study, and not to find other deviant methods, to do well in the exams. The consequences are just too ghastly. And of course, one of them is missing, 3 exams if you are found guilty. And the very extreme one is to be criminally charged. You'll be sitting with a criminal record even before you further your study, even before you take your first job.
There you have it. That is a very stern warning from the Department of Education's Deputy DG, Director General, indicating that those who even think about taking advantage or even paying for any leaks or getting involved in any leaks are actually, in fact, facing the possibility of being criminally charged in the future.